The LGBT or lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender community has been fighting for their freedom for years, but recently the government has been cracking down and blocking them from expressing themselves. The lack of LGBT rights in Russia is creating a global anger that is fueling people and organizations to take a stand. In June of 2013, Vladimir Putin passed a law banning the propaganda of non-traditional sexual relations. Not only that, but he also imposed fines and jail terms for people who inform children on the LGBT community. Shortly after, he established a law that bans same-sex couples in Russia from adopting Russian children. The law also includes a ban on adoption of Russian children from countries where same-sex marriage is legal, like Canada, France, and Spain. More recently, though, a law has been set forth that bans people with so-called sex disorders from driving in an effort to decrease the amount of accidents. Rights activists and other governments are complaining by saying that these are all just proof of discrimination towards these individuals and has started an active movement of hate crimes towards the LGBT community. In recent months, there have been numerous reports of violence and hostility. The presence of anti-LGBT individuals is seen everywhere and makes it hard for the LGBT community to lead their everyday lives as normal. Violent murders and attacks of LGBT individuals have been reported all over the country. One of which is Oleg Serdiuk. He was found in his burned-out car, beaten and stabbed to death. The murder, like many others, was motivated by homophobia. This is not the only victim of physical abuse. 23-year-old Vladislav Turnovoy was raped with beer bottles and killed by breaking his skull. One of the men in connection with his death even confessed to killing him because he was gay. In public areas, LGBT individuals are beaten, harassed, assaulted, and abused. Due to this, only 1 out of every 100 homosexuals in Russia are open about their sexual orientation. A popular nightclub called Central Station has experienced gas attacks and gunfire. Many employees left the country after the attacks because they were nervous for their safety. The club later shut its doors for good. The Russian authorities aren't doing anything to stop this because they believe what the perpetrators are doing is right. People are using the new laws as justification for homophobic propaganda and violence. The only people willing to speak up for them is the community itself and other nations who as global citizens have a duty to support each other if they are being discriminated against. While there are many people against the LGBT community, there are also people willing to support them. When Elton John had a concert in Russia, he spoke of the laws to his fans and said he was deeply saddened and shocked over the current legislation. It's not only Elton John who is taking a stand. President Barack Obama wrote a letter to Putin expressing concern for the legislation and new laws. Many different kinds of websites are being made to show support for the LGBT community. PutinDressUp.com is a dress-up game where you can dress Putin up in foolish clothes and outfits. The website allows people to give Putin a taste of his own medicine in a playful manner. There is also a website called RussiaLGBT.com, and it is an organization that helps bring people who immigrated from Russia to a place where they can be safe with who they are. They hold meetings which unites them within the American community and makes them feel more at home. Another big event that has sparked many people's attention is a crosswalk in front of the Russian embassy that was painted rainbow colors. Its purpose is to protest the anti-LGBT legislation and show them they are going to fight back against the new laws. People started boycotting Russian vodka in the 2014 Winter Olympics. Many issues concerning whether the laws would affect the athletes or not during the Olympics arise because they were held in Sochi, Russia. Because the anti-gay propaganda law was passed after the decision to have the Olympics in Sochi, the LGBT community started to boycott it. French and German presidents did not attend the Olympics, which inspired and started a trend for other leaders to take a stand. Although, they did not support a boycott because the athletes had worked all their life for their big moment, and it would be a shame for them to miss that opportunity. They never ended up boycotting, although President Obama did state that he thinks the laws are wrong and the athletes should have equal opportunity and respect. Many athletes were concerned for their safety and if the laws were going to apply to them while visiting and competing in the games. Since the authorities were on board with the ban on gay propaganda, they had no one to keep them safe from the other oppressors. Some said that the laws won't be in effect for the athletes participating, while other Russian officers contradicted that, saying they will be responsible for the actions, whatever they are. Some athletes took the Olympics to their advantage to show support, but no major arrests or events happened in relation to the laws or boycotts. While it has been 2 years since the propaganda and adoption laws have been passed, violence and aggression towards the LGBT community is still prevalent. As more laws and bans are still being passed without hesitation, the Russian people are being stripped of their rights more and more every day. Even though times are tough in Russia, people and organizations worldwide are inspired to defy the legislation and support the LGBT community. The global community needs to take action and force Russian leadership to take down the laws on the LGBT community and make sure nothing like this ever happens again.